So just kind of going back to some of like the initial themes that we were working on, and we were really, really consistently working on establishing safety in your nervous system. And it was just like, I would want to steer into some higher level teachings or practices or whatever. And your body was just like, nope, I'm still here. I need to feel safe. I need to feel grounded. I need to come back home to myself because, your childhood and your personal story was what it was. You didn't have an established source of safety in your system. And when we're doing this deep work, we have to start with these basic level needs if we're going to go to thriving, self actualization, enlightenment, all these really cool things. So we were really, really nurturing and nourishing this deeper part of your nervous system and kind of returning to your inner child over and over again.
Yeah, for pretty much the majority of the 10 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it can kind of look like sometimes like, are we getting anywhere? Like, what is this? What is this doing? What purpose does it serve? Why are we working with the inner child again? What does this have to do with tantric sexuality? And being magnetic and attracting a mate. I'd love for you to speak into that.
Yeah.
You feel called.
Well, it was just like the meditations that we would go through, were perfect in each of those sessions. I mean, you were just able to download exactly what was needed at the time. And, going through those embodiment exercises, we would get to that point and it was literally just like, as my ex would say, I would just like crumple, and I was just like bawling and tears and screaming like, "Ah!" Like just getting to that kid that didn't have his needs met in whatever way that was.
Mm-hmm.
And providing learning to self-soothe, I guess, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
learning to talk to that. I mean, that's been another really interesting thing. This whole process has made me realize just kind of how the technology of this whole thing works, right? How
Mm-hmm.
we're like, okay, like, oh wait, I can, if I conceptualize my ego as this individual that I can talk to,
Mm-hmm.
like, how does that work? And if I conceptualize this body as this other thing that I can talk to and work with and command or soothe or whatever, all of a sudden it was like, whoa, like some light bulbs went off. So like that inner child was like, okay, like imagine your inner child and then just talking to that. I mean, I had never heard that idea before. And, at first I'm like, I'm talking to myself, I don't know, does this work? I was like, okay, just trust the process. I don't know who I'm talking to, but it started to work. I was like, oh, okay. And, there's this phrase like the universe is mind. You're like, okay, so like this whole thing is literally just for our consciousness to have this way to interact with itself,
Mm-hmm.
essentially, right? Like that's really what it is. I was like, I mean, you can think about it actually as this inner child, but like, no, it's you, right? So you're like, okay, this is like, I'm now taking this part of my consciousness, I'm making it conscious such that I can interact with it actively in my mind. And then start to work with it. And so we were just, like, no, like it's okay. I named, I don't know if I think I told you its name. I named my ego Igor.
I didn't ever know that.
Maybe I didn't tell you that.
How did
Yeah,
I not know that whole time?
yeah. I forget what session that was in, but I was like, no, it's okay, Igor. Like you're good. And now, like anytime things come up, I'm like, no, we're good. You're safe. Like you're okay. Like what do you need? And at first I was like, what do you need? I was like, oh, okay, I need chocolate, or I need a burger. Like, I'm like, okay, like we're gonna get you that right now. Like we're good. And now it's one of those things where it's subsided so much to the point where like it's few and far between, but someone will come up and be like, no, we're good, like we're safe. And it's like,
Mm.
it's like it just takes that much now. Now with the kind of body technology things that I'm learning in this other course that I'm in, it's the same thing with the body. It's like, oh, like how do I open my chakras, or how do I ground, or how do I control my auric field? Well, okay, imagine you're Jean-Luc Picard on the bridge of the Star Trek spaceship, and like you're just commanding. You're like,
Yeah.
feet chakras, open 100%, connect to the center core of the earth, pull up the grounding energy, and then just sit there and wait and see what you can feel. And lo and behold, it works. And the more you practice, the more it works. You're just like, whoa, okay.
So it's kind of like, with our work, you're connecting your consciousness with a neuronal pathway, and you're just literally going, actually, we're going to rewire this pathway, and I'm going to use my consciousness to create a new network. And